Welcome to KetoMealsAndRecipes.com. Today I'll be showing you how I made my delicious salted caramel ice cream that is sugar-free and a Haagen-Dazs copycat recipe. Before I begin, I'd just like to mention that for best results you do have to use an ice cream maker because that results in the smallest ice crystals and creamiest texture. And I'll also provide a link for a couple ice cream makers that you could consider. One is the one that I'm using, and the other one is a really highly rated and inexpensive machine that's about $50 US. I'll also be providing no-churn recipes in the future that can be made without a machine or with a machine. But because of the low cost of really good ice cream makers, I really think you should purchase one if you're an ice cream lover like we are. There's a noticeable difference in texture and mouthfeel when you use a machine versus a no-churn. The macronutrient ratio for my salted caramel ice cream that is sugar-free and a Haagen-Dazs copycat recipe is an amazing 12:1 with 2.8 total carbs, 0.1 gram of dietary fiber, resulting in 2.7 grams of net carbs per serving. Before starting the custard, please make a full batch of my keto caramel sauce and caramel fat bomb recipe. However, when you make the caramel sauce, just add an extra half a teaspoon of salt to the listed ingredients. This will make the caramel taste more like salty caramel. I know that there's several different ways of making caramel, but I find that my method works consistently well every time. So I hope you give that a try. And for your convenience, I will provide a link to the video that shows you step by step how to make my caramel sauce in the YouTube description below. Now to make the custard. In your bowl with the egg yolks, add the confectionery sweetener. Begin whipping at low speed, and once the sweetener is incorporated, increase to high and whip until the color of the eggs become very pale and your volume has increased. Then set your whipped eggs aside while you heat up your cream mixture. Into a saucepan, add your heavy cream and the almond milk. Then give that a quick stir and set it over medium-low heat. Cook for about 20 minutes, whisking constantly until the mixture reaches a temperature of 175 degrees Fahrenheit or about 80 degrees Celsius. If you don't have a thermometer, what you want is for a very light simmer to be happening just at the edge where the cream is touching the pan. Turn off the heat and remove the pot from the stovetop element. The next step is to temper the whipped egg yolk mixture, and you do this by slowly drizzling about 1 cup or 1 ladleful of hot, creamy mixture as you whisk continuously. It's very important to whisk rather vigorously. This will prevent the egg yolks from clumping or curdling due to the heat. And then to make sure that you've tempered the egg yolk mixture properly, repeat with a 2nd cup or ladle of the hot liquid. Then slowly pour the remaining hot liquid into the egg mixture bowl as you're whisking continuously. And now that your eggs are properly tempered, pour everything back into the pot you previously used for heating the cream mixture, and place the pot back on your stove top, which you've set to medium-low. And as it's cooking, remember to whisk frequently until you reach about 175 Fahrenheit or 80 degrees Celsius. So when the mixture reaches the correct temperature, immediately remove the pot from the heat. Now it's time to add your salted caramel sauce that you made previously. Because the custard is very hot, there's no need to reheat or melt the caramel. Just stir the caramel into the hot liquid until the caramel is well combined and you have a nice homogeneous creamy mixture. And then when the caramel is well blended into the creamy custard, transfer the custard base into a clean bowl. The next step is to cool the custard to room temperature, and it's important to do that before you put it into the refrigerator. And you can speed up the cooling of the custard by placing the bowl into an ice water bath and whisking every once in a while until the custard gets to room temperature. Or if you don't want to use an ice bath, just leave it on your counter and whisk once in a while until the custard reaches room temperature. And at that point, cover the bowl with cling wrap and place it in the refrigerator. You want the custard to be very, very cold, and that should take about 2 to 3 hours. I also like to chill the container I will be using to store my ice cream in, so you can put that bowl into the freezer while you're chilling your custard. Because there's so many different kinds of ice cream makers, some with a compressor and some that need the bowl to be chilled for 24 hours, make sure that you prepare your ice cream maker according to your manufacturer's directions. It's really important that your churning pot is extremely well chilled. Now that the custard is well chilled and my machine is ready, I start the machine churning just before I start pouring the custard into the bowl. I forgot to mention, select the hardest consistency setting on your machine if it has that. It takes my machine about 20 to 25 minutes to make a really nice soft serve type of ice cream, and I truly can't wait. When your machine indicates that the ice cream is done, transfer the ice cream, which is at the soft serve consistency, to your pre-chilled container, and you can have some soft serve right now, or cover the ice cream with cling wrap and your lid and put in the freezer for several hours. You should leave your ice cream in the freezer for about 3 to 6 hours. How long you leave it in the freezer will depend how hard you like your ice cream. I like my ice cream to be easily scoopable with a bit of resistance as I scoop. Oh my god, I can't wait to dig in. We're all ice creamaholics in this family, and we like a great variety of flavors, but this flavor is just heaven. This Haagen-Dazs Copycat has the same creamy, luxurious mouthfeel with a very nicely balanced caramel taste without the caramel being overpowering. I hope you give this recipe a try very soon, and most of all, I hope that you really enjoy it. Thank you very much for watching this video. In the end cards, I'll provide the links for a couple of the other ice cream flavors that I've made. And I'd also like to mention that the next ice cream flavor I will be posting will be a requested flavor, and that is rich dark chocolate. The link for the printable salted caramel ice cream, sugar-free Haagen-Dazs Copycat version will be posted in the YouTube description below.